right into it. Funsie, we're back again with another episode. Exciting episode where we discuss everything you've ever wanted to hear from any of us. Comment below what you want to hear. Yeah. That's
I think
my
people are
intro.
just excited that we're doing 2 episodes in a row this time.
Yeah,
Yes.
We're not absolutely slacking like we were before.
Yeah, back-to-back weeks, here we are.
Back like we never left. And at the most hectic time of my life, probably.
Yeah, are you able to talk about it or?
Yeah, I'm
I
also
mentioned
curious.
it. I mentioned it last week. My wife is pregnant, obviously.
No,
But-
the other thing though.
Oh, not yet. Not yet. Soon enough.
okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Probably like 5 or 6 more weeks. So
Mm.
we'll hold off on that. We'll hold off on that. But yeah, so our due date was 3 or 4 days ago. So it's not technically like, I don't know, our OBGYN said it's not too good to go like too far past your due date. So today we are inducing. So I will be a dad in the next day or two, which is pretty wild.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was talking about, Josh.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I
I
didn't
have
know what
no
you were
idea
hinting
what you
at
were
or
talk-
what you thought Ben was hinting at, but
Well,
Josh,
you guys know what I'm hinting at, but
all right.
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later.
Josh, if you're able, can you turn your mic up just a little bit?
Yeah, totally.
But
Hello? Is this better?
perfect. That's perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned before that your last week was the big reveal to I think like the general audience that your wife is pregnant, and I can only imagine that it's incredibly busy, but you're still pumping out content, it seems like, and if people didn't know
Yeah.
otherwise, they would have no idea.
Yeah, so I mean, I've talked a lot about wanting to push this year for like more videos, more shorts, all that jazz. And so I've been really trying to be on top of stuff and like actually like, I don't know, like spend a lot of time producing content and stuff. And I don't know if I mentioned it on here, but TikTok did something recently where they like sent me some email that was like, hey, you qualify for this program. And it was like, if you post 10 shorts in the month of July, you qualify for some huge bonus of like money. And I was like, oh shoot, I need to do that. And the requirements were 10 shorts, but also the only way you can make money on TikTok, or at least the only way I can, is if my shorts are a minute plus. So like 10 high quality minute plus shorts. And so I really pushed to do it in July, which was last month, and I like was grinding, and then I figured out that you had to do it before the 28th of the month. And so I was really pushing the last week, and then I realized too late that I had done it too late. So I'm trying to be on top of it for August. And my main goal is just to see, like, is it worth it? Like, if I put in all this effort, post 10 shorts, am I going to see enough of a monetary difference that I should do this every month? Or is it just like, oh, I made an extra $100, like, it was not worth all that work. So I think that's part of the reason I've had so much content, at least on the short form side, come out. Just to
That's
see.
awesome.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's kind of tough because I know for a little bit it seemed like you were shortening your content, maybe for Instagram. So now they're
Mhm.
like, of course, only offering for over a minute, and it's like, are you kidding me, man? Obviously, you have a backlog of stuff, and I'm sure that's
Yeah.
helpful, but you want to always be putting out new stuff.
My goal is, like, I think kind of what I've determined is I like having a mesh of both. I don't think that this TikTok program is going to make it worth it to me to like be absolutely grinding on like longer shorts, if that makes sense. Like, I kind of have 3 forms of content. I have long form YouTube videos, which, you know, usually 10 to 15, 20 minutes. And then I have longer short form videos, which are like a minute-ish usually. And then I have like, yeah, my like one-off clips where it's just like something crazy happened or whatever it may be. And I've determined, at one point I thought that short form was going to be a big driver of like income for me, because you can make some legit money off of it. But I think I've determined that, at least for now, it's cooled off a lot. I think that the algorithms have kind of found out that, like, yeah, some disc golf content can go crazy, but also it's disc golf, so it's kind of niche. So, like, some of the explainers I have on, like, random niche disc golf topics are really interesting to disc golf people, so they have good retention for disc golf audiences, but outside of that, they're just not going to perform. And so I've determined that I love making these, like, minute-plus shorts, but I just don't think I can do them at the frequency I'm currently doing them at and it be worth it. Like, I think I've always kind of known that I should double down on, like, long-form YouTube content and, like, really grind on that kind of side of things because, you know, first of all, I'm passionate about it. There's some really cool things to do when it comes to that. But also that's always been where the money is and will be for the foreseeable future. But at the same time, complementing that with short form and long short form, which is super confusing.
Couldn't
But
you
if
just,
you know.
like, post, like, just shorts just for TikTok that are less effort, like a Q&A? Or just...
Well, for this, like, program, I mean, it depends on what I want to do. For this program, they are evaluating if they are high-quality shorts. So, like, I'm in...
like what I'm wearing.
Wait,
Free
what?
shout-outs. No, he's just being a dunce right now.
Oh.
Just keep going.
High quality
Yes,
shorts.
that is high. Oh, yes. That's a good one. I don't know how much I can say. I think they prefer us not being super public with it, but, like, I think I'm a part of, like, 100 or a couple hundred people that got invited to this program. So I'm in some Discord with, like, a bunch of bigger
so
sport
it's legit.
creators.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and they're, like, always, like, texting in there, like, oh, do you guys think this is quality? Or, like, how much did you guys see in your bonus? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm, like, a disc golf content creator, and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of out of my league. Like, these guys have millions of followers, and I'm like, oh, how did I get invited to this? And so, like, I'm pretty sure that when it comes to it, it's not just, like, maybe it's a robot AI, someone looking over the content, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's also actual staff members at TikTok who go through.
Well,
and,
yeah, the Discord...
This is a
The
quality
Discord makes me
short.
believe that. That's the case.
Yeah, that's
If
that's
they
kinda
set
what I'm
that
saying.
up, I thought it was just like TikTok. Like, yeah, I'm like, there's no way corporate China TikTok is evaluating. But if they did a Discord, then yeah, someone's behind it.
Well, I know they have an office here in the United States, and, you know, I'll be pretty forthright with it. I am a TikTok hater. Like, I don't really like TikTok. Like, I think they are trying to go about it right, but, like, when it comes to posting shorts, I prefer YouTube and I prefer Instagram, just because, at least for me, as, like, someone who would scroll on Reels, like, my experience is a million times better on Reels than it is on TikTok. And then secondly, I don't know, TikTok just feels grimy to me for some reason. Like, even though I can make money posting on there, and, like, there is an audience there that I can't really reach on YouTube and on Instagram, I still am, like, almost hesitant to even use it. I still use it, and I still, you know, sometimes I post stuff on there that I don't even post on YouTube and Instagram. But I'm almost like, when the ban was coming through, people were like, oh no, like, are you worried? And I was like, I don't know.
You're like,
You
I'm
know?
actually kind of thankful.
Yeah, like, it's fine. You know, I actually, like, genuinely, if I have a short do well on TikTok, I can make a couple $100. Like, it can be that good. Dang. But it's few and far between. It's, you know, it's just not reliable for me. Like, I'm definitely going to commit to it. And, like I said, I enjoy making these high quality, high effort shorts that are minute plus. But I don't think I can maintain the frequency I'm currently at and still devote enough time to long form videos that I want to, if that makes sense. Like, my goal at some point is to get to a long form video once a week. You know, like, that is if I could do this, I'd feel real good about myself. But as it stands, you know, it's going to mean scaling
Sounds like
back
to
on
me
other things.
you gotta hire someone to help that workflow. Like me, I'm hiring someone for the expo, or
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
works of it to make it better. Because too many things I have to do that other things lack. So I need someone to pick up that slack.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because like for the effort I would want, I don't think that the money is there yet, you know? Like I think the way I would want to work it out is like, yeah, at some point I would love to bring on an editor, but as it stands, like I can't make enough money for me to justify myself quitting my full-time job right now. So how am I going to pay an editor too? So like the second that, views start being higher or like ads start coming in more frequently, and like maybe I start having more money than I thought I'd ever make in YouTube, that's when I'd be like, okay, I'll scale to an editor. Like a way I would want to do that is like if people genuinely become interested in disc golf at some point, like it becomes more mainstream than it is, then I could see posting the frequency of like TikToks that I do being like a legitimate way to make money. So like some kind of fashion of like if I had an editor who helped me on TikTok shorts and then helped me edit my full length YouTube videos, I would want to give them some kind of like base salary, but then also be like, hey, you get 25% of whatever we make off of this. And that way it's like, okay, they have enough money to like live on this, right? If they're full time for me, which would be the goal. They have enough money to live on just their salary, but they're incentivized to, make the best content, help me make the best content, because the better it performs, the more money they make as well, So I don't know. There's a lot of options. I think a lot of that definitely hinges on disc golf content performing better over the long haul. Because right now,
Yeah, it's gone down, right?
yeah, it's definitely.
Like
I would say
I-
since I started making content, I would say the people that are interested in disc golf, like at least watching disc golf content, has gone down. And I think that's across the board. Like I really feel like, I kind of try to keep up with like looking at people's views and just like seeing where everyone stands. Like I try as much as possible not to be like comparison, like, oh man, this person got more views than me. There's a little bit of that, but more so like, okay, where is everyone standing at the sport? Like, where's this base level line of like, okay, if Simon posts a video, he's going to get 100K views regardless of what the video was, which that was true, and now he's posting more frequently, I think also paired with a lack of disc golf interest in the general public. And now I would say that he's not pulling 100K a video. It's more like 50K maybe, or 30 or 40K. And like I would be interested to talk about this with like Bodanza or someone like that, because it seems like I've kind of noticed that his views the baseline isn't as high as it once was as well. Like I feel like at one point he was pulling 15, 20K a video baseline, and now it seems, from what I've seen, and I'd love to talk to him about this, but it seems like 8 or 5 or 10 or whatever, a little bit lower. And like, kind of same for me. Like I think my content's improved a ton since I first started, and some of my like, videos that I am really proud of, but like don't think are as good as my videos now, would pull like 20, 30, 40K. And now like, I think my videos are better, but they're doing the same, if not worse. And so how it feels to me is that there are not as many people consuming disc golf content. Long form, but I'd almost argue short form as well. Like I feel like I don't keep up with Another Round's Instagram quite as much as like other YouTubers, but I feel like there haven't been as many disc golf shorts go big. Would you say that that's true, Sajko?
Yeah, I
like
would
maybe
say
on
currently
Instagram.
there's a higher variation in either view count or interaction. So typically, yeah, last year it would be more so consistent. Now it feels like you're talking about, Josh, that pool of people that are interested in disc golf feels smaller. So when you're appealing to your followers, like your general audience, maybe there's not as many people from there. But as soon as you go outside of that, say like you have a video that like somehow reaches an audience outside of your followers, that's when it blows up and just like completely blows everything else out of the water. And I've noticed that for my stuff as well lately too, where it's like lower lows and higher highs. It's just strange right now, and I don't know if we can completely just point to disc golf as a whole, because I know Instagram is just changing all the time.
Yeah,
And,
totally. I would agree with that.
But I mean, you're talking about YouTube as well, so who knows?
Would you? I'd be interested to hear. I feel like at one point, and I haven't gone through and checked in a really long time, but I feel like at one point, 6 months, a year ago, or whatever, I feel like there was a period where it was like every 3 reels on another round, it would be 2, 5 million, 1 million. Like you guys would have a ton of reels that went for millions, and I'd assume that you guys still have that happen. But how it feels to me, at least on my end, I feel like I'm putting out quality shorts still, but that I'm not getting those million view shorts on Instagram and sometimes YouTube as well as much as I used to, even though I feel like I'm putting out quality similar content that I used to. Do you think it's the same, or are you like not really worried about that at all?
No, I think it's absolutely the same. I think it's I don't want to say that I'm worried about it, because I don't know if there's value in doing that per se. I think it's more so just it wasn't like 1 in every 3 that was getting like 1 million plus views, but it definitely is less now at the moment. I'm more so just looking forward to when I'm actually down there and can be in control of some of the stuff that I end up doing. So, oh, Josh. All right,
Well,
for listeners,
is Josh out of
just
here?
dropped. Yeah, I think so. He just texted
Oh man,
Man's
This
gonna
is-
ask a question and then leave right off the bat.
man, this is what I had to say was to Josh, and I'll say it to the podcast, and he'll have to listen to it after. But yeah, I actually talked to Bodan's Cascade Challenge around that, and that's what he was telling me, that like his views. He's telling me his views are down because of disc golf, and he was saying like if I was in any other niche, he'd be making way more money. But since he's in disc golf, it's like, and put in the same effort, I guess. Like because he was talking about making a fishing channel or something at that time. Because he likes fishing, so he's like, yeah, if I just did this into fishing, I'd be making way more money. But disc golf is like my views are going down. It's like a weird thing. So yeah, he has noticed it and has talked about it. I think it's just like with everything. I'm big into Bitcoin. Okay, I've been investing in Bitcoin for the past 5 years. I invested in Bitcoin at the all-time high in 2020, which at the time was like, you're an idiot. Now we see what it is now, where that all-time high, if I just bought at the all-time high, I'd be up 100% now. The reason I'm saying that is just like, that's just like how the market goes. You get to the all-time high, and then you tank, and then Bitcoin got to like 20K. And it's like, oh, it's never, it's never gonna go, blah, 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 blah. And then now you see that 120K, and you're like, oh, because that's the new high. And now after the 120K, it'll plateau to like whatever. The new low will be 80K, but it's still higher than the previous all-time high, if that makes any sense. So I think that's kind of where we're at. We're at the plateau, but it's still high, and we'll get it high again, and then the next boom will be higher than the COVID all-time high.
Correct.
Hopefully.
And Josh is now back for listeners. But I was just going to say, I think I would be concerned if like our views were down and no one else's were, and everyone else's was on the up and up. But because it feels like a sport-wide thing right now for like media, that everything's down, it's just kind of where the sport is at currently. So I try not to take too much
it's just the
don't
market.
put too much mind to it. It's just keep doing what we're doing and try evolving as much as we can and make the product better over time.
Dude, look
Yeah,
at Ninja.
Oh, Ninja's still around.
I was gonna say, look at like a good comparison is Ninja. He was a grinder, professional gamer, and wasn't that popular. Obviously, he made a living off it. But Fortnite comes around, and he's the most popular streamer ever at one point, like getting like 100K views, like live concurrent views. But that's because he just stayed consistent, and then that opportunity came again where something popped off, and he was at the forefront. That's what I've said about this podcast too. It's like, you're laying the bricks now, but let's just say 5 years from now, disc golf booms. Okay, I want to get into disc golf. Oh, I want to listen to some podcasts. Oh, Funsie has this, looks cool, stuff like that. So that's how I see it. You gotta buy low in the market to reap the benefits.
Yeah, totally.
Right before I came on this podcast, spoiler alert, Valerie Monduhano won Ledgestone. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. But she posted saying that she can't believe after at Worlds 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, she was saying that she played some of her worst golf of like recent memory. And then to win Ledgestone, she was like, I just trusted in the process, and all those weeks, months that I felt like I was making no progress in anything, just keep hoping, and eventually things will work out, and all that hard work and determination paid off.
Totally. Yeah, I think I missed it, but I'd assume you agreed with what I said, Sajko, maybe at least a little bit based on what you said.
What the heck was I even talking about?
I said that Bodanza has talked to me, and he has said that his views are down.
I asked about another round on Instagram as well.
I think if I remember correctly, I was saying that like some of the highs are higher and the lows are lower. Were you here for that?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah,
that's
after that,
pretty much
we
it.
just went on.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I think it can just be chalked up to the entire sport is just going through a lull. I mean, unfortunately, maybe the last 2 years, I think we're still seeing some trickle in growth, but I definitely think we're seeing a level of people leaving. What do you think? I'd be interested to hear y'all's opinion on this. Do you think there's a world where if there was some sort of infrastructure in place that we could have kept more of the COVID boom people?
I literally just talked about it. I don't think so. I think it's just the market. It's just like I just said, I compared it to Bitcoin. 2020, 60,000 was all-time high. If you bought there, you were seen as an idiot because it went to 20,000. But now you're seen as a genius because it's at 120,000. It's because that's just like how everything works. You get the all-time high, then it's guaranteed to go down and plateau.
Totally.
But people don't realize that plateau, it would have been, people were crazy about 5 years earlier. Like, people were crazy about Bitcoin hitting 60K in 2020. Like, it was like, what? Are you kidding me? Now if it got to 60K or 80K, it'd be like, frick, dang it. But it's a better all-time high than 2020. And I think that's where we're at. We got the boom. Now we're plateauing. But that plateau is still way better than it was before COVID. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we went back to pre-COVID numbers. We're still high. It's just how anything in this world works with the market. You go up, you go down, then you go up again, and then the new low is the previous all-time high.
Well, I also think, unfortunately, there were a lot of companies, because there was a giant boom, and they're making way more money at that time than they were previously. I think there were a lot of companies that were not very good with their money in those moments, because when you're at that high, you're like, oh man, now we can, each of us can take a little bit more money home. We could do, pay our players more, upgrades at like wherever we are like staying, X, Y, or Z. There's so many things. And I think we are, like, something that the sport has been good about is like trying to get kids involved. I feel like there's so many junior programs and like going to schools. But I don't feel like we won't feel those effects, I think, for like a few years, which is an investment in its own regard. But obviously right now we're like, where is everyone? Like something, like because my day job dealt with this a lot, like a big problem with like hunting and fishing is like a lot of like older generation does that. But like they like skipped an entire generation because like any of those agencies were just like, oh, it's hunting and fishing. Like people will love to do that forever. It's just like taken for granted. And now there's like an entire, like I said, generation of people that aren't doing that. And they're like, we don't have money coming in to like keep supporting these programs. Like, what do we do? So now they're doing initiatives with kids, but at the same time, you're like, hope we make it.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. I agree with you. But to play devil's advocate, as I love to do, I feel like there was a level, I mean, I can say with certainty, there was definitely a level of unpreparedness for the boom. And I think there was a level of, like you said, Sajko, people being overzealous, assuming that this would be the standard for the rest of time in terms of growth and money coming in, like manufacturers or, even Jomez or like subsidiary disc golf companies that were not necessarily manufacturers, but, more just along for the sport. And I feel like there's a level of like, I think accessibility of the sport just keeps getting better because disc golf courses are typically free to play, right? Mm-hmm. And once they're in the ground, most of the time upkeep isn't crazy. Like it doesn't really, it takes some of a park, but it doesn't take all of a park usually. Like I feel like it's becoming more accessible. I think that that's a big way that like growth will just continuously, like people just, like I found disc golf by just seeing a disc golf basket and being like, what's that? I didn't see social media. I didn't see anything else. Like I was just like, oh, I'm an athletic guy. I'd like to try that. Like I like sports. And so like, I think that that's a level of entry that is just continuously getting bigger, better, makes it easier to like sustain like, oh, I have a course only 5 minutes from us. But I think that, 5 years ago during COVID, it was way worse. I think that something that's improved is also the pay to play option. Like I think there's a lot more of like those luxe disc golf experiences that weren't really there before. Like if there's someone that's a golfer who's coming to disc golf and their first course is some rinky dink, free to play, nasty course, they're going to be like, oh, this kind of stinks. Those are the courses you go to once you're like committed to disc golf. If they can go to an Eagles Crossing early on, or if they can go to a Maple Hill or like one of these really nice courses first, that is going to affect them. That is going to change their perception of the sport. I think I've been pretty public about this, but I think that disc golf will explode the second that you go up to some random person or, some fringe friend asks you, hey, what do you like to do? And you say, oh, I like disc golf. And they don't have a negative reaction. As it stands, you say, oh, I like disc golf. And somebody goes, oh, really? Like, oh, you're not messing with me?
Yeah, like,
or at least
sick, you're a hippie. Cool.
Yeah, like at least that's my experience for the most part. Like it's not always it, but like for the most part, the people associated with disc golf are people who are lazy and do illegal substances. Like the narrative has to change in order for people to be willing to even give it a chance. Like I think there's been so many people I've talked to in the sport who have been like, oh, I looked at disc golf and thought it was silly, and then I gave it a try and I was like, oh, this is awesome. If we can get people to just not think it's stupid and silly and like a legit sport that's fun and enjoyable and has professionals, that's when I think things will start trending in the right direction. Because I almost feel like you have to like convince someone to come play disc golf sometimes, a little bit, and it's like, dang, that stinks.
Yeah, do you know what? Go ahead, Ben.
You know what's funny? This is a Funsie fact. I just heard this. No idea if it's true. So take it with a grain of salt. But someone told me one time that like Dave Feldberg, like Kevin James, maybe Adam Sandler wanted to do something with disc golf with Dave Feldberg, but he turned it down because he thought it would look bad for the sport and that they'd make it like a mockery or something. That's what I've heard. So
interesting. Like I almost feel
this
like
is back in the day.
Okay.
Well, did you guys know he was on Conan O'Brien, like putting, like late night with Conan, Dave Feldberg?
No way.
That's probably how.
No clue.
You haven't watched that? Yeah, he was literally on the Conan O'Brien talk show, whatever it's called, like Jimmy Fallon's an example of what it would be, because Conan no longer does it. If you don't know who he is, but yeah, he did it. He did putts, nails like a pretty good putt on the set, but. Maybe that's where he got the opportunity, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he turned something down because he thought it'd be like look bad for this. But even like Jimmy Fallon and Brad Pitt just did something, and they were acting like stoners.
Yeah,
and
so stupid. Yeah.
I mean, that just shows general perception right there. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting because I feel like there's two arguments with that. Because, yeah, I'm sure Adam Sandler would mess around about the sport.
I don't know what it was, though.
Silly.
I don't know
I'm
if
sure
they
it'd be
wanted
something
like a
Happy
Snappy
Gilmore-esque.
Gilmore. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really funny idea. But, like, I feel like there's two arguments to that. Like, yes, I think it could be like, oh, man, this sport is a joke. Like, I'm making fun of this sport this whole movie. But I think there's a route where it's like there is a lot of positive press in regards to disc golf. Like, I think it could easily have been a positive thing. I don't know. I mean, especially if they were going to involve Dave Feldberg, he could make creative decisions where instead of, making fun of disc golf, like they're playing disc golf legit, except the characters are funny. Like they're making fun of the characters.
I don't know the scenario though. So to him, it sounded like bad. So he's probably pitched like, dude, you're gonna be freaking a drunk playing disc. I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know the full scenario. I don't even know if it was a movie. Maybe someone who's heard this can sound off in the comments better, or if I just. But I will say, someone told me this. Someone like a good, valuable source that wouldn't just make this up for me. So, but he was on Conan. That's a fact. You can look it up, probably right now.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. It's on YouTube.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, to kind of go off these points, do you feel like there's something that disc golf is doing right now that is sort of pushing people away or not keeping their attention, or maybe they're not doing something that people are able to find elsewhere?
I think it's
Do you
just
feel like there's
the
any
natural
one thing, like
progression.
an aspect of the sport that is just like why would people not stick around? Or maybe other activities are just more enticing. We're like taking it too personally.
I don't know. I
think
think
that's
there's.
the case.
I think that it's tough. I believe that if we were to get some more people that have like I think that Dylan Cease is a great example. Like if we could have more people that are respected in other crafts play the sport and take it seriously, I really think that could help change the perception. Like Dylan Cease pretty public, like, oh, I love disc golf, and hey, I play disc golf. Like he talks about it in public, and he's literally like a Cy Young candidate in baseball, like a very good baseball pitcher.
Yeah.
Like if we can have famous people be like, and I don't know how you control that. Like that's really not something you can force, right? But like if we had that happen, I think that is something that would catapult our sport even farther. In terms of what we're doing right now, I think we have enough just 18-hole disc golf people. I think that people need to come in and push the sport with new ideas. And something I feel like I've been public on this podcast about is like, yes, there's a lot of good ideas in golf, but it's really apparent when people are just ripping the ideas from Good or like Bryson DeChambeau or whatever. Like it's very apparent when all you're doing is looking at a golf video and being like, I can do this in disc golf. I'm going to do it in disc golf. When I say like use golf as an example, look at those videos and iterate, come up with something creative on your own and make something new, because people like, yes, it's working in golf and it'll probably work in disc golf, but you're not going to see explosive growth or become a household disc golf YouTube name unless you're doing something that's brand new, or you're doing it for the longest, So I don't know. I definitely think we need quality content to continue. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see like a mesh up between Jomez and, to be frank, me. Like, I think like a professional version of what I do. Because mine's like silly and I make it myself. But like if there was a production team behind someone who's like probably a better player than me, but like also still doing like something kind of more story based, like I think it would be pretty interesting. Yeah, Ben, you have a question?
Yeah, big fan. What's it like being a YouTuber?
Okay.
It's awesome.
Did you have a legitimate one? So
No,
for listeners,
no.
Ben clicked
just-
something where it said he raised his hand. Okay.
I was just testing some new things.
I do feel like disc golf, to a certain degree, doesn't really appeal to beginners too much. I feel like we a lot of times focus on pros, who are the people driving the sport, but there's such an obsession with what's in people's, like, a pro's bag, and people go to those discs and then they throw them and they're like, that doesn't fly good for me at all. And now you're starting to see some manufacturers, I feel like they're leaning in a little bit more towards beginner-friendly discs, or at least like general amateur friendly discs. And I'm not gonna say this person in like my area is doing a great thing. Like, they're a course designer, they're putting in courses all throughout Connecticut. It's super cool. Having said that, like, this person loves to make the most difficult technical courses that, honestly, like, me as a disc golfer and like others that I know that have talked about it, they don't even go there because it's A, either so difficult, or B, it's so like taxing. You're like, I would just rather go, like, on your body, you're like, I would rather just go to any of these other courses. So it's cool that these courses exist, but if people aren't playing them to a certain degree, it's almost like they hold less value than, like we've talked about, like a 9-hole course that is accessible for people. And the fact that any of us are into disc golf is almost kind of a miracle when you think about it, because you have to be so bad for so long at something, and you're like, okay, I gotta like stick around. And like somehow we convinced ourselves to stick around in this until we finally threw a good shot, and then kept trying to chase that feeling. So for an example, like there's, if anyone's heard of like UConn, like University of Connecticut, they at their what's it called, Avery Point, it's like a campus off of like the main campus along the shoreline of Connecticut. It's just like this teeny little 9-hole course that, like, I don't think anyone really goes to yet because it's so brand new, but like there are so many people that are there just walking around this area. And when you play disc golf, I mean, it's hundreds of people that are passing by you, and like a few people that are asking like what you're doing, and it's just exposed more to a general audience. So now they have an idea of what disc golf is, as opposed to, like, the beauty of this sport is being in forests, but like most people aren't walking by that unless they're like trying to seek it out.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you just said. I was actually talking to my wife recently where I was telling her about how I really enjoyed this course that I've been playing because it lets me throw full power, like 400-foot shots. Mm-hmm. And she was like, when people are designing courses, do they want like really hard courses? Because she knows I play like pitch and putt sometimes. And I was like, actually, no, you're right. Like, you know, there are some good course designers who are like, oh yeah, let's make this a beginner course, or let's make this a pro course. Like, I think it's really good when there's variety. Like, we need the variety because, yeah, playing freaking Eagles Crossings champ tees is not going to be fun for a beginner, or playing Maple Hill Golds is not going to be fun for a beginner, but playing the Reds is going to be fun. And so, like,
well, I was about to say, I've been waiting to say this. Maple Hill Reds is its most played layout by like 1 million. Like,
yeah,
cool.
Totally, because that's what's going to be fun. And I feel like
that's the most people in the sport, beginners.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like I've thought this before as well, and I think you voiced it, Sajko. Like, how did we stick around? Because the vast majority of marketing and like disc golf focused stuff is about the professional side of disc golf. And like, yes, our sport is accessible. It's free to play. You only need a disc. There's courses everywhere. But in terms of the casual, there is not a lot of like, it's very hard to figure things out because so much is catered towards the professional side of disc golf. And so I do think there's something there. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Like, I've been pretty vocal that I thought it was so hard for me to figure out how to go on disc golf scene, understand A, B, C tier, how to get a PGA number. Like, I think that is a problem that needs to be addressed, is how to get from like casual player to playing in tournaments better, like videos, better marketing, whatever. But also, I think that when someone plays for the first time and they're horrible at it, how do we keep them around? Because I think there's people I've played with who had like a decent amount of fun and like would maybe try it again. But yeah, it sucked. It's really hard at first, and you have to commit to it for a little bit before you like really get the hang of it. So like, how do we show people what it's about? Because we know it's awesome, obviously. But like getting them to stick around, we don't have a lot of marketing and push towards that. So we need to figure out how we're going to do that, right?
For me personally, so I live where Maple Hill is. I played disc golf maybe 10 times from 2015 to 2017 just because my brother was really more into it. I wasn't really into it. That's actually how I met Matt Graham. My first Pyramids dubs, I got paired with him, and then like 8 years later, we reconvened. Anyways, so yeah, from like 2015 2017, I played like a handful of times just because like it was just one activity we did every couple of months, maybe. But even me, it took me the second time around to really like disc golf. I didn't even like it the first time around. So like, I'm just giving you an example of like it took me
totally
2 times. Then the second time, that's when I got hooked. But the first time, it was just like, oh, this is fun, but like it's not my favorite thing to do. It's so funny now that I think about it. In 2020, the year before I found disc golf again, I should say. My brother would ask me to go play. I'm like, nah, I like don't like disc golf. I would say no, and then the next year, it's just crazy how that works.
Yeah, no, now it's your life. I feel like I'm in a similar boat. Like I remember trying it once in high school, and like I had fun, but it was just like, okay, that was a fun thing to do on a Saturday. That was different than usual. And then in 2020, I went with one of my friends. I was like, oh, that was a decent bit of fun. And they got really into it, and it was just my way of hanging out with them. And then eventually I got into it, like I had to have a level of mob mentality to really like commit to it, stick around long enough to get good enough that I was like, oh wait, I'm having a lot of fun just playing. Like I'll go play by myself, rather than playing with a group of friends. And I like, not to toot my own horn, but I do like, my goal is to cater to beginners or to someone that doesn't know the sport of disc golf. And I just think we need more of that. Like ideally, in an ideal world, either someone who's watching my videos doesn't know disc golf, or maybe they've played 2 or 3 times, they see one of my thumbnails, see one of my titles, and they're like, oh, I could watch this, and because they know what disc golf is, and then now they watch it, and they're like, oh, maybe I'll get more into this. This is pretty cool, pretty legit. Like, maybe that's a level of, like, stuff we need, more of that. I don't know.
Yeah, to kind of go off what you said previously about, like, your friends got into it. That's what happened to me. My friend, Bumpy is his name. He posted at Buffinville, a local course near us. And I think I might have played Buffinville, like, once or twice. And he was playing it consistently. Like, he would post it on his story. And I was like, bro, like, invite me one of these times. I know how to play disc golf. Like, let me come. And I actually have a funny video. But, yeah, I still had the same starter kit that I played with in 2015, 2016. I had, like, 3 discs. It was a DX Leopard. I think it was a EMAC Truth that I bought. And then, like, Ricky Dagger. And that's what got me back into it, is just, like, my friend posting and then me going with them. So, yeah, I think there is a level of, you have to have people around you that enjoy it. Or unless you're like Lucas Oberholzer Hess, who he claims, or not claims, like, this is what, not claims in a way like this, I don't think it is, but like he says that he just watched found Jomas one time and watched the video and he was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and then just committed to it. Yeah, so that's rare, but I was like, wait, what? You just watched one video? And then he's like, yep, and then I just wanted to do it.
Do you feel like there's a weird stigma maybe as a course designer where you simultaneously want to get your name out there for making a course? So maybe you're like, you want to make a course that caters more towards disc golfers as opposed to just like random general people. So you kind of try to make like the best course so disc golfers are like, yes, dude, this course is awesome, as opposed to like maybe it's not as cool to like make a smaller beginner course because it's not taken as seriously.
Well, no one knows John Houck for his pitch and putts. Everyone knows John Houck for his championship level designs.
Well, there we go. But John Houck already exists. So.
Here's the thing. Like, I think it's just you have to. You can do championship. Just put in multiple pats. I think that.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a solution.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not trying to. I think all these things obviously need to exist. Like pros existing, like they're the ones that are pushing the sport, showing what is capable, keeping interest in the sport. But it's about bringing people in and like making it easier for them to want to stick around. I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if I had to play a Pro Tour course the first time I played, I would be like, I'm never doing this again.
I'm never.
If I triple bogeyed every hole or worse, that's just no fun, dude. I am a big proponent of like, I think the time when I was like, oh, I'm gonna play disc golf forever was when I got my first birdie. Like, I feel like the second you get your first birdie is when it's like, I feel like for most people, it's like kind of when it clicks, like, oh, shoot, that's pretty sick, you know? Like, I just birdied that hole, you know?
And like I've been playing consistently for like 4.5 years at this point where I'm like, yeah, I want to play disc golf as opposed to just like going out as a means to hang out with my wife's family.
Totally.
And after 4.5 years, I just now, like I played Buffinville Dam, so for anyone in our local area that's played Buff before. Very difficult course. I mean, it's been on Casey White's channel, Simon's channel. And this was the first time playing it.
Such a cool free course.
It really is. And this is my first time playing it that I felt like I was able to actually manage the course well and like throw shots that I think the course is asking for. That's 4.5 years of play that I finally feel like I have like an okay chance of scoring.
Yeah, you can shred it. Yeah.
Right. So
that's wild.
You got to be in it for the long.
I remember trying to shoot plus 17 on Buff and like and being happy about it.
Yeah, exactly. Somehow we turned that into 47 minutes of talking, and that was great actually. I thought that was a good conversation.
That's what Funsie does, bro.
Was, like, lingering in our brain.
Yeah, we come unprepared, but we have the best combos. That's what I like about it. Unprepared in the sense like we don't lay out what to talk about. It just kind of floats, and I like that about it. It's just like us talking at a campfire with a couple bush apples, but we're just recording it.
Oh, I want to shout someone out on this podcast because I don't think we've ever mentioned
me
them
too.
before.
Me too.
Okay. I want to shout out Kevin from Up and Down Disc Golf. I think the three of us are aware of Kevin, and
yes.
I'm sure there are plenty of creators that are, but he's doing something like really focusing on the storytelling aspect of disc golf, and he's doing like a lot of really cool cinematography. More people need to be following him and seeing what he's doing.
I think that he's gonna carve out a really good spot in disc golf content for himself because he is doing something that people really haven't. Like, it's definitely a unique thing. I think it has value, and I think it's very, very well done. So that's definitely something that I think is pushing the sport. And that's kind of what I mean when I say, like, there are comps outside of the sport, but you got to iterate, you know? Like, we can't just do the exact same thing someone else is doing. And like, I think he's gotten a lot of inspiration from creators and then turned that into something disc golf specific and iterated it past its like base level. And now hopefully he starts seeing a lot more success as time continues.
Yeah.
So
in my opinion, my take on what his channel is he romanticizes things in disc golf that we didn't realize we do, I guess.
Yeah, like, well said.
Yeah, so like one of my favorite ones, and I think it's funny actually. His whole story about the beloved passenger disc or something. Like it's just like obviously I've never done it to that extent, but like we have that disc that's just like in the back of our car and like or like on our seat that. But so like I was like this is actually hilarious. But yeah, he romanticizes like the unique parts of the sport. I have a shout out. I met them at the disc Ledgestone Fly Mart. Double Shot Disc Golf. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of them. I've never heard of them until they interviewed me. But yeah, I wanted to shout them out because they just came up to me and were like, "Oh, we're big fans of Funsie," and so that was pretty cool. And then they're trying to make it in the content creation world, and they were doing like kind of like on the street interviews, and wish them best of luck. But I want to shout them out. Go check them out, and thanks for listening. And comment below if you listen to this one.
Oh, I have seen their stuff. I think their thumbnails need some work, but their videos are pretty good.
There you go.
Boom.
That's my take.
Actually, I got to hang out with Kevin when last time we went down to Charlotte, and we did some recording with Joe, and Kevin just did like an entire video that is centered around a very close topic that I can't really talk about, but expect a video coming out very soon.
I helped him a little bit with his scripting and stuff on that video, so I'm really excited to see it. Yeah,
that's great.
Shout out that guy.
Am I good to eat this?
Is that a napkin? Like a wet nap? Man,
No.
I can't tell.
Any
topics that you guys want to touch on before we wrap up here?
No, I think that was good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Josh, best of luck to you and your wife. Because
Thank you.
currently at the hospital? Or where
No, I'm still at the house.
Okay.
I'm still at the house.
Man's
you're just,
dedicated.
you're just in a hallway right now or something like that?
No, not quite.
Yeah, for listeners, I'll be moving down to Charlotte this upcoming weekend. So hopefully I can make it for the podcast, but I probably not. But we'll see. But next time that you see me, I'll be down in Charlotte.
Safe to say we probably won't have a podcast next week.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
Josh will be a 3-day-old dad, and Sajko will be a 3-day-old
Charlatan.
dad.
Charlatan. Maybe
right.
we'll do like a later week. Who knows? We can figure it
True.
out.
Sweet.
And your
All right,
third host could be your baby. Okay.
There we go.
All right,
Interview Josh.
Funsie.
Peace.
Bye.